Welcome to Town Square Media's Jersey Shore Journal with Vin Ebenau. This is a weekly public affairs program designed to keep you informed about important issues affecting Monmouth and Ocean counties. Now here's Vin Ebenau with this week's Jersey Shore Journal.
And a good evening to you. I hope that you've all had a great weekend, and I thank you for joining me tonight to discuss the Jersey Shore. My guest on the show tonight is Joanne Burney, co-founder and executive director of Allaire Community Farm in Wall Township. Then Dan Alexander has a look at what's on the Jersey Shore calendar coming up. One of the fun trips that you can take throughout the spring and summer months and even into the fall and early part of the winter season is going to Allaire Community Farm in Wall Township. Lots of great animals to go see and pet and feed depending on the animal. But they've also got a lot of great community events as well. Some to celebrate, like birthday parties or stuff like that. But also some very educational groups and events and different things that they have set up at Allaire Community Farm that could really help a lot of different people. And they've got some great community events coming up. Joanne Burney, executive director and co-founder of Allaire Community Farm in Wall Township, joined me and Dave Crossan recently on Short Time with Vin and Dave, which you can hear every Sunday from 7 to 8 a.m. on 94.3 The Point, to discuss all these great events coming up and, of course, give us an update on some new friends there at Allaire Community Farm. We want to get all sorts of updates on our friends there at the farm and talk about some events that people can attend coming up over the next few weeks and months. But first things first, how are our animal friends on the farm?
Animals are doing great. They're thrilled because as of April 1st, we're now reopened to the public.
There you go.
So
nice.
Although we had our programs going on all winter long, they miss the daily visitors,
of course.
The kiddies, the grandparents, mom and dad, and so they're loving it because most people that come through the farm choose to get our feed bags and they feed the animals, so they love having all the guests. So everybody's back. We have a few new ones to the farm.
I
Would
want to hear about that.
them?
Please,
Okay, we just the last 3 weeks we rescued a mini albino donkey named Patrick.
Okay.
And a mini dwarf goat named Sunshine.
There we go.
And then
Great
four
name.
turkeys. We have Tom and Jerry and Ethel and Lucy.
I love it.
So,
That's outstanding.
They're wonderful animals that were well cared for, but an elderly woman passed on, and the grandkids did the best they could, but really needed some help in supporting these animals. So they just came out of quarantine because when we bring an animal over, we quarantine them for 14 days to make sure that they don't have any issues. We have blood work done and stool samples, and just to make sure they don't bring anything to our farm to affect our animals. But they passed with flying colors,
Good.
and so now they're into the population.
Oh, there we
very
go.
good.
So some new friends to the mix there. I love all the names that you guys come up with for all the different animals there. Is that like a process that you and your husband go through and everybody on the farm?
Well, it depends. Some animals come with names, and we keep them, or if we hate the name, we change it.
All right.
Okay.
And then other ones, my daughter in particular in the beginning was, she's an artist, she's creative, so she says, let me think about it, let me get to know them, and then she watches their personality, and then she names them. So, example, we have a rooster and 2 hens that live in our side yard because we like the sound of a rooster in the morning. And his name is Goliath because he's a big and protective.
At what time does the rooster give
Usually
the wake-up call?
Usually at 3 a.m. they start. And
How about that wake-up call, Dave?
So 3 a.m. and then is there like a pause and then another
Yeah, then
at
they'll
5?
start again around 5.
Okay.
5
Almost
and
like hitting the
6.
snooze button.
It's a snooze button.
But his women...
His name should be Snooze, yes.
That's exactly it. And his 2 women that he cares for, our hens, are named Frances and Marsala, which I think
there we go.
were good names for them.
Nice.
But so it all depends. They get names different ways, but they're all loved and adored.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
But they need a name. You need to know
of
every
course.
single
Absolutely.
animal on the farm. So what we did new this year is over the winter we had each of the animals' stories told on a sign, and so that people can really get to know them. So
Okay.
we'll say Reagan the donkey, where he came from, what his story is.
I love that.
Ryan Goosling,
There we go.
our goose.
Our friend.
And his story,
great.
yeah.
That's so good.
So it's really great. So we're trying to get the people much more involved in knowing the animal's story, understanding that they are rescued. And
Yeah.
of course, there is a little QR code there that you can go right to our donate page on our website.
Nice. I like
So
that.
That's
There
a
we
new
go.
addition this year to
I like that.
kind of get people more involved with the animals and their story and understanding the mission of the farm.
How have all the new animals acclimated to, I guess, a new surrounding and seeing different animals aside them on the farm?
Yeah, that's a great question. The turkeys are loving it.
There we go.
Actually, so much. They were in the back in one of our barns, and we have a fox problem in Monmouth County where we live, and the fox were scoping them out, so we knew
Oh,
they
boy.
were in danger. So we had to put them into an enclosed pen, so at night they could be locked up, so because they would be definitely taken alive.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, so we moved them up top. Well, they are such huge hits. Everybody loves Tom and Jerry and Ethel and Lucy, and they're loving everybody. So the kids come up and they have this funny noise that they make when they greet you, and the boys, Tom and Jerry, will puff up their feathers to say, "Check me out, aren't I handsome?"
Okay.
And so they're a big hit. They're loving their new home.
There we go.
Patrick is trying to figure out where he fits in. He's not sure
Okay.
if he wants to go with Reagan the donkey, who also is with Al the alpaca, and then the two goats, Snickerdoodles and Dudley. They all came
Wow,
together.
great names.
Got all these
Or-
clicks on the farm.
Yes.
Or does he want to go with the other donkeys on the other side of the farm, Diego and Ariel, who are also lovely, but they're in with the mini ponies. So what we do is we walk Patrick back and forth, and he kind of just like talks to them through the fence, and he'll figure out. He'll let us know where he wants to live. He's
Fair
still
enough.
making up his mind.
A lot of decisions. There's a lot
of
lot
course.
of drama going on there.
Oh yeah,
A lot of moving parts.
It's kind of like,
I love
I
it.
used to teach kindergarten many years ago, and certain personalities you couldn't sit together, so there was always the seat swap. And the same thing with the animals. There's the paddock
course.
swap,
That makes
depending on
sense.
their personalities.
Sounds could be very entertaining at times too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, there's always a pecking order. Somebody has to be the boss, and it's funny. You never know who's going to step up and be the dominant. You're surprised. Usually, it's the smallest one.
Interesting. Small but
kinda
mighty.
hold
Dogs. Like
That-
usually it's the little
Yeah, that
dogs that are
Napoleon,
right, right.
syndrome. Yeah, the little yappy
exactly.
dog going after the big pit bull, right?
Right.
Yeah.
How are some of the older friends? Like I know you talked about Ryan Goosling earlier. How are them doing as we get going here in 23?
They're doing great. I just stopped. I was doing a tour of the farm yesterday, and I stopped to say hello to Ryan because if I dare drive by him, he squawks and complains. Like, I see you.
Gotta say hello.
And I went over and talked with him, and he's got some new ducks in there, and he seems to be, very happy with his responsibilities. Jack and Jill, our sheep, are totally acclimated to the farm because they were about to go to slaughter a couple years ago, and it took them a long time to get used to people, and now they're wonderful. We have the mini piglets, Charlotte and Willow and Rosie and Elizabeth. If you come to the farm, you'll see them being walked around on leashes. So they've gotten used to their harness, and now they walk the property and love it. And so a lot of our animals. Oh, we have another new one that came from our friends who had a farm, have a farm in Wall, and they went down to Florida for the winter, and their goat was being bullied by the other goats. Her name is Bambi. She is a love bug, and Bambi just roams the farm. She doesn't like to be in a paddock. She considers herself part human, and so
why not?
she'll just, when you come to the farm now, you'll see Bambi just roaming around the farm, and go on up and say hi to her. She loves to be pet. So
Almost like the nighttime security guard just kind of like walks around and
Right, of
checks
course.
out the area.
Yeah, everything. When we get someone who hasn't been there in a while, I'll get the frantic text. There's a goat out, it's only Bambi. She's
She'll be fine.
Yeah,
She's fine. Tell her to stop eating Daddy's bushes. Like my husband planted all these good bushes, and Bambi eats them all. But what are you going to do?
Exactly. What are you going to do?
Could be
Exactly.
advertising. I mean, heart wants what it wants. I mean, some people love food,
Exactly.
and
That's it.
and what is it? Lucy the pig. Or
Lily the
Lily
pig.
the pig. That's,
Oh,
I was
Lily.
drawing a blank. Yeah.
Lily gave us a little bit of a scare this weekend.
Oh.
One of our head feeders called and was crying. She goes, "I think this is it for Lily," because Lily's getting up there in years. And I said, "What's the matter?" She goes, "She hasn't eaten. She won't drink now."
Oh, no.
And so, we called the vet. The vet said, "I'll be there after church." And my husband and I went down, and she wouldn't get up for us. And, we're like, "Oh, this is it for poor Lil." And he said, "Go up in the fridge and see if you can get some fruit for her." So I went,
Okay.
I had watermelon and cantaloupe and brought it down. He started hand feeding it to her. It's like we woke her stomach up.
Wow.
And Lily jumped up and then started demanding more. So I ran to Acme
All right.
and bought all the cut up fruit that they had.
That's good.
Brought it back to my 900-pound pig. Anyway, long story short, we find out that Lily is just being finicky, and it's that time of the month for her.
Aha.
And so she wants what she wants when she wants it.
There it is.
There we
And
go.
so the avocados and the zucchini and the carrots, she just wasn't feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted, me, like sometimes I feel like a chocolate bar. Lily wanted
Same.
watermelon,
Yeah,
cantaloupe,
I get
fruit, sweet fruit. And so she's doing much better.
Good.
And,
Oh, good to hear that.
She's on the mend, so.
I do enjoy some good fresh fruit, too.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't want to eat,
Right.
healthy things. Not that the fruit isn't, but it's not what she should be eating.
Gotta, spread things out every once in a while. Eat the
Exactly.
things you should and the things you probably shouldn't.
And another funny story with Lily is our vet said right away, "Go take her temperature." Well, my husband and I were off the property, so we asked one of our volunteers to do it. She took her temperature. She called me back. She goes, "It's 93." I was like, "Oh, that's not good." I called the vet. She goes, "That's not good at all." She goes, "I'll come over, as soon as I'm out of here."
Right.
And apparently, she used the wrong hole. So that's
That'll
why
do it.
when she took her temperature
Yep.
on a female.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
Lily was fine. Her temperature actually was exactly where it was supposed to be. And
Oh,
it
good.
wasn't.
Good to
So
hear.
That's good.
these are stories that happen on a farm, and who knew?
Exactly.
Kind of makes you laugh after the fact.
Right, exactly.
Whoops, wrong area.
Yeah.
When people come to the farm, I know we've touched on this in the past. What are the rules or ways that they can go about petting some of the animals or saying hello to them?
Yep. Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for saying that. We just ordered a whole bunch of new signs to put up around because
Okay.
Farm is a dangerous place, and when any farm in the country, each state has a sign that you always have to place up for a liability reason that says this is a farm, you could die, it's dangerous.
Right.
Because animals, are animals, and they, although they're loving, sometimes you never know what's going to spook them or scare them. So the rule of thumb is all of our animals are in pens, and that's to protect our animals from the public because petting it, they love to be pet, but on their terms. So they'll come up to the paddock, and you can pet them and you can feed them. But if they don't want to be pet or fed, they'll stay back.
Okay.
And so
That's fair.
When we used to let people in, they'd be taking selfies with our alpaca, and trying to hold on to the donkey, and the donkey be running away, and
boy.
the animals were having diarrhea, and it was like stressing them out. So
Yeah.
now when you come, they're in a nice paddock.
Okay.
Everybody can reach them and access them, but on their terms.
With
And
limits.
Fair enough.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so it's just to protect the animals. If they don't feel well, if they're old, they may not want to be around a bunch of people that day. So it's on their terms, but. Most of our animals are always up at the gate waiting to be fed. Our little piglets, we have a double fence, and we have a chute that the kids throw the food into the
wow.
chute. And
That's
then the
pretty
pigs
cool.
are at the bottom collecting it because pigs' mouths are at the bottom of their faces, so they can't see your hands. So the
Okay.
chances of you getting nipped are very high. And so to protect the children, we had to do these chutes.
Makes sense.
And then the only animals we don't allow you to feed are the cow and the horses. And the reason for that is they are on such specialized diets that even the food that we sell in our market for $2.50 a bag, which is from our nutritionist in Purina, it's a very healthy, safe food for them. It still is not great for the horses. And the other thing with the horses is you can't feed them. You have to have your palm open. You have to feed them a certain way, because otherwise their teeth are going to get a little hand and they're going to bite it. And so that's to protect the public. But they can certainly visit them and read their stories and learn about them. The horses love to be visited, but you shouldn't feed them because it's dangerous.
Makes sense. What's coming up for people to come and see and be part of it, Alaire?
Great. Well, glad you're asking me this. First of all, new to this year is we are now open 7 days a week.
Oh, okay.
So we
Like
used
that.
to close on Mondays, but we spent all day Monday telling people we're closed. So we said, this is silly.
Keep it open.
Let's just leave it open.
Right.
And so we're open 7 days a week. Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4, Sunday, 12 to 4. So those are our
Good hours.
programs for the public to come to the petting zoo. We have birthday parties every weekend.
Oh, okay.
We have class trips going on during the week.
Oh, wow.
So that goes on a regular basis. Special programs that we're doing are that are coming up are three. The first one is May 3rd.
Okay.
And that's called Light the Night. And this is our
the
second year
Night. Okay.
year doing this program. It's a partnership that we started with Wall Township High School, and it's to remember people who have died to overdose.
Oh, right. Yeah, during the overdose epidemic.
A drug overdose.
Yep.
We added COVID this year for anybody who lost their life to that also. And also at this event, we have luminaries, and it's kind of a time of remembrance, a pretty time when the lights go down at the farm and the sun sets. It's very pretty. That's all lit. We do like a little memorial walk. But we also have probably around 40 different agencies that deal with mental health and addiction issues. And they have tables there. We have music. We have food.
Nice.
We'll have food trucks. And the whole point is to prevent this from happening again. And
Sure,
so
yeah.
I know this year, I think Commissioner Nick DeRocco will be speaking.
Oh, good.
We have a lot of health professionals speaking. I'll be there talking about the farm and how we can help with at-risk teens and the programs we do for young people who are at risk at the farm. So that's on May 3rd.
Okay.
Last year was the first year. It was very successful. So I hope this year that we're going to really hit it out of the park.
Nice.
So that's that one. The next program we're doing is on May 9th. It's a Tuesday, and that's we're dedicating our teaching greenhouse that we got through a grant through Monmouth County and specifically Director Tom Arnone.
Okay.
Because we do a program with him called the Sushi Program, which is a program for elementary school kids where we bring urban and suburban schools together, and we teach them growing from seed to harvesting. But we're also teaching young people from different socioeconomic groups, different, like example, first year we did this program, it was Asbury Park and Colts Neck. The chances of those kids coming together
I like that.
Right.
are
yeah.
not great.
Yeah.
And so we break down those barriers that really we're all the same. We all
absolutely.
want to be treated with dignity and respect. We all, want to have friends and
Right.
belong. And so it's a great way of bringing these communities together and, building, teaching them how to eat healthy because particularly in the lower income towns, it's very expensive to eat healthy.
Right.
And so it's much cheaper to go to the dollar menu than to go, Whole Foods and get all organic food.
Right.
Right.
And so we're teaching them how to grow in their own gardens, in
I
their
like
own
that.
homes.
That is good.
And then what we do at the end of this program is they go to each other's school and we build a garden there. And so the school then sustains that garden so that, they teach the younger kids, how to grow. So that program is Tom Arnone's. We're in our 7th year doing it. And we got this grant and now we built this teaching greenhouse that's going to feature all the different growing meetings. So we have hydroponics, aquaponics, aeroponics,
Wow.
raised beds. So it's all these things that these young people can learn about, but also our special needs programs that are there during the week, our HOPE program, our high school GAIN program for special needs kids. They'll learn all of these. So if they graduate, then they can, come work on our farm. They can go work at a nursery. They can go work at another farm. So that's on May 9th at 4
great.
p.m. So we're really excited about that.
Some good stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Because
a lot.
that'll keep us going year round. It'll be a constant 70 degrees, whether it's the middle of winter or the heat of the summer. And so we're thrilled to have this greenhouse. So that's the second big thing coming up in the next few weeks. And the last one is May 13th. It's our 5th or 6th year hosting. No, it's more than that. It was a 7th year
There we go.
hosting Children's Mental Health Awareness Day for Monmouth County.
Okay.
And we've been hosting that for Monmouth County, but we have a lot of Ocean County agencies come also. And that's another day where we just put the focus on mental health. And now in our country, we're in epidemic proportions with depression, suicidal thoughts, self-harming, anxiety.
Yeah.
COVID just made it all the more worse. And
For
so
sure.
we're there to destigmatize it, to give early intervention, and then to help these parents and young people get some help. So that's going to be a huge event on May 13th at the farm. So
Wow.
That's
all of these
fantastic.
events, I should say, are free and open to the public. So
And
feel free
very
to come on out.
educational, helpful, supportive, all ways to bring the communities together at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, and really, really needed because the mental health is crazy now.
Yeah,
And,
people need an outlet, a way to feel like everybody
Yeah.
else, and that
And-
somebody understands.
Yep, and sometimes that's all you have to do is say it.
Yeah,
Right.
Speak it and say, I'm struggling with depression.
Absolutely.
I'm struggling with these bad thoughts. And then, we find you people to talk you through it. If you would like a job at our farm and you're a young person, I have a stipend through a grant
There you go.
That's
so that I
great.
can hire you and you can make some money and you can use the farm environment. Our tagline is we nurture through nature. So if you want to work in the greenhouses, you want to work with the animals, you get a paycheck, and
There
before
you go.
know
That's
it,
really great.
before you know it, you're feeling a little bitter about yourself. You have a purpose, and
Absolutely.
and that cloud kind of dissipates.
So, Joanne, going off of that, how can people reach out about working on the farm, volunteering, just getting involved with helping out around the farm and with the store and with feeding the animals and being there for class trips or birthday parties?
Well, that's a great question. We as of January 1st have Town Square Media does our website now.
Oh,
and
very nice.
They've done a great job of really setting it up that you can see all of the parts of the nonprofit and then all the parts of the farm and open to the public. So if you want to volunteer, you can go on there and there's an online form. If you want to have a birthday party, you can do that. If you want to donate, you can do that. If you want to know more about the farm and its mission, there's videos. It's a very interactive website you go there and just ask your question. If you can't, for some reason, can't find an answer to your question on that website, you do contact us. And everything goes directly to me.
Oh, okay.
And then I
That's
look
good.
at it and I'll say, okay, this is a good question for the person who runs our disabilities programs. I'll send it off to her. If it's about volunteering, I'll send it to our administrator who will tell you when the next training is. If it's about a riding lesson, it'll go to our trainers. So everything comes to me so I still can keep an eye on what the vibe is, what
Sure.
people need
Yeah.
most with the
Yeah.
farm. But it's really, we're very happy with the website, and we feel like
There you go.
it's really user-friendly for the public.
Very nice.
And are there ways that people can help out with food or donating to what you got going on at the farm?
Yeah, I mean, the best... People always they want to bring extra food and things like that. That we kind of, because our animals are all on specialized
Okay.
diets, cash and gift cards are the best. So if you you wanted to get a Tractor Supply gift card or a Rick Saddle Shop or Monmouth Feed or PetSmart, those kind of things are always helpful for the farm. We're always getting vitamins and supplements and
Okay.
leashes and all that kind of stuff. But that's the best way to help us out is either a gift card or a direct donation. You could do it right through our website or checks, Alaire Community Farm. Everything goes directly to that. We are 100% of the money. Look us up. Go on our website. Look at our 990, which is what every nonprofit has to do.
Your
Submit their
501c3.
and we have to submit our financials. We are audited. We're very proud of how small our administrative costs are and how much goes back into the programs we do, because the majority of the people are volunteers, or even if they do work for us, we have grants for that. And so our overhead is really minuscule, and everything else goes back into the program. So we're really proud of that.
If somebody wanted to donate gradually, over time, which probably is a big benefit, if somebody, instead of the end of a year, they wanted to do like each month or something like that. Is there a way for them to go online and set up like an auto debit type? Okay,
that's a great question. Thank you. Yes, they can go on and do automatic donations. We also have on our website, you can go on and we have an animal sponsorship page. So you can look at all of our animals, read about their stories, and then you can sponsor them once.
Oh, wow.
You can sponsor them for a year. And so that's a great birthday present or something.
Oh, I like that a lot.
We had a birthday party this weekend, and all of a sudden, all of these donations kept coming through. And I saw it in honor of Emmy's birthday. So people, instead of having gifts,
I like that.
They said, donate to the farm. And so, at Christmas time, it's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
We'll send you a certificate that an animal has been sponsored in your name, or money has gone towards the Hope program for people with disabilities. And so there's all kinds of ways. We'll take it.
There you go.
Monthly, yearly. Put us in your will.
There you go.
Whatever you want to do.
Why not?
The more that comes in, the more that goes back into the program.
Right.
So
okay, that's excellent.
Joanne, I know we're going into May now, and sometimes it's usually decent enough out weather-wise and everything. Not too hot, not too chilly, and everything. Is the month of May usually when animals are kind of out and about, as opposed to like the middle of July or August when it's like really hot and some of the animals kind of go inside for some shade?
Definitely. They're out and at the fence ready to be fed now. This is a very safe time for the animals, because the time that's really dangerous, people always think it's in the winter during a storm. That's not it. They grow their winter coats, and they're fine for that. As long as it's not like sleeting rain on them, so they can get out of the rain. And all of our animals have that. We have a 20-stall barn for all the horses. The dangerous part on the farm is the heat of the summer.
Okay.
Because that's when, you heard that expression, you can lead a horse to water. They don't always drink.
Oh, boy.
And, that's why we have salt licks on there.
Okay.
You'll see that, a big chunk of salt hanging on the fence. We want them to lick that so that then they'll drink the water, because it's a very dangerous time for a horse is the summertime with the heat. And so... now they're all out and about. We try to get them all out every day regardless. But in the heat of the summer, you might come on a 100-degree day, and they're going to be in the barn with fans on them, because it's safer then.
Right. Yeah.
So we're very fussy with, they all have places to get out of the sun and out of the heat, and then particularly the horses, because they're the largest, but they're the most temperamental. They all have fans on them in the summertime. Makes
sense. I mean, listen, kind of like us in ways, right? In the summer, we want to get into the fans, the shade, maybe laying down on the hammock under a nice tree. So we all want to get out of the heat at some point.
I hear that, yes.
Yeah.
Joanne, appreciate you coming on and giving us some updates and talking about some upcoming programs that you got going on at Allaire Community Farm. More than just going there and checking out the animals. You guys do so much great work for the community.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And
our pleasure.
Just one quick thing I wanted to mention. Today and by the end of the week, we have phase 1 of our Path to Independence going down. And that's an access mat that will allow anyone in a wheelchair to fully access phase 1 of our property. We had a wonderful donor who has paid to do the entire farm, but we're going to continue to do that as the summer goes on, get the whole property done. But right now, you'll be able to access the petting zoos, both the indoor and the outdoor, and we're really pleased about that, and we're thankful to our donor. So if you're in a wheelchair, don't feel like you can't come, because now you're going to be able to easily access.
Love that.
Those areas.
Absolutely. It's a place for everybody throughout the course of a year to go and check out the animals, go to all these different events, and just be present in the moment, and go out there and have a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Go, throughout the month of May and all year long. Go check out field trip, birthday party, and a day out with the kids. Go to Allaire Community Farm in Wall Township and check out all the things going on there, and I'll meet all the new animal friends too. So we'll have you covered as well. We'll give you some of the details at 943thepoint.com as well.
Town Square Media's Jersey Shore Journal with Vin Ebenau.
In addition to going to Allaire Community Farm in Wall Township, there's plenty of other things to do here in Ocean and Monmouth counties. And for a look at what's going on, here is Dan Alexander with what's going on with the Jersey Shore calendar this week.
Vin, coming up Friday, the Jackson Police Explorers host Comedy for a Cause at the Jackson Mills Fire Station on County Line Road starting at 6 in support of baby Ethan, a 2-year-old boy in need of a kidney transplant. Comedians from Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club will be performing. Saturday, Point Beach Cares holds a concert to benefit homeless U.S. veterans at Jenkinson's in Point Pleasant Beach starting at 4 o'clock. Taking the stage will be David Bryan of Bon Jovi, Mark Ribbler from Little Steven and the Disciples of Soul, the Eddie Testa Band, and special guests. Also on Saturday, the Keyport Bayfront Business Cooperative hosts their Bayfest Keyport from noon until 6 along Front Street with a downtown treasure hunt, chili and chowder testing, interactive pirate show, pirate cruise on the Keyport Princess, and more. And Saturday, the Multiple Sclerosis Society hosts its Bike MS Coast to Coast beginning and ending at the Deal Casino Beach Club. To get your nonprofit club or organization's event listed on the community calendar, click the submit link at the top of the community calendar page on this station's website. For Jersey Shore Journal, I'm Dan Alexander.
Town Square Media's Jersey Shore Journal with Vin Ebenau.
Well, it's time for me to say goodbye and good night, but we do have a full look at what's going on in Jersey Shore news on our free Town Square Media family of apps here in Monmouth and Ocean counties. Have a great night and a great week ahead, everybody. Talk to you soon.
This has been Jersey Shore Journal with Vin Ebenau, a public affairs presentation of Town Square Media. Join us again next week as we keep you informed about important issues affecting Monmouth and Ocean counties. If you have a story you'd like us to cover on Jersey Shore Journal, please email the host, vin.ebenau@townsquaremedia.com.